everybody that comes to this place, they're just, the abundance of wildlife just, they find phenomenal. And the reason is it's the habitat, stupid. You know, that's what most of those conservation groups, whether it be Quail Forever, Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, all those, it's about habitat. That's all they talk about anymore. And that's what we, in making an overall healthier little ecosystem here, we're benefiting the birds. We haven't even talked about being in the Audubon bird-friendly ranching program. Well, if you're friendly to birds, you're friendly to just about every other wildlife too. We've been rehabbing these native warm season grass areas and expanding them, and it's bringing back the prairie birds. They're the group of the bird kingdom that is the most in decline. Where we're improving this habitat, the birds are thriving and doing better. But on those cover crop fields, we have all these targeted species, but all of them aren't really, they don't use this area all that much. We had a big flock of bobolinks come through 2 springs ago, and I don't know if there was some particular insect that was growing on that cover crop or what it was, but it held them there for about almost 2 weeks on their migration north. Our primary deal on cover crops is not necessarily helping wildlife, but something was going on there that they found attractive. And the birds, like dick sissels, we've just become lousy with dick sissels. And they're a prairie species that was on decline. Right around the house here, we have some gorgeous scissortail flycatchers that are here every year and raise young here. It's kind of fun to watch them and everything. We've had mating pairs of loggerhead shrikes be here all summer. I've always enjoyed wildlife and hunting, but I've always associated better hunting and wildlife with habitat. I mean, we've done things since the 70s that just enhance our farming operation for wildlife. We have veterans that hunt here. I've had quite a few youth hunters over the years. A lot of them have gotten their first birds or turkeys or deer on this place, and it just, you know, I like doing that. That's what part of my goal is, but I didn't realize it at the time, but I was on the path to this soil health thing. It was the key to going even farther in what my, I guess you could call it an ethic or whatever you want to call it, of management. What I found is that you know, when we keep a eye on wildlife, that's another barometer of what you're transforming your piece of the world into.
Reason why we don't spray for blackberries, you know, think about the benefits of blackberries. Quail use that as protection. They also use that as a winter feed source. Rabbits use that too. So, you know, I know we get focused on our big, pretty livestock, but some of the smaller livestock needs that stuff as well, you know? I mean, it's all animals. I mean, it all needs to have a home and environment to live. I've got 2 buddies who are avid deer hunters, and the biggest deer they've ever shot have been on my farms. Maybe a coincidence, but maybe not. Would you want to go to a bare ground where there's no food, or do you want to go where the buffet's at? I know where I would want to be if I was a deer, right? So it works that way. We've also seen woodcocks on our farm. I'd never seen those until we started putting grain sorghum back in our rotation and Carine lespedeza. You know, according to the University of Missouri, Carine lespedeza is a great winter feed source for quail. It's the same way with other game birds. So now we've created a food source just by shattering out of the combine. You don't realize how much lespedeza you lose when you're combining until the following year when you see a solid stand of lespedeza, you know, the following year. So we have a lot of shatter, and so the game birds get to use that, you know, as a food source in the winter. The deer, you know, we provide a very high quality feed source for them with the cover crops.
When we planted the shrubs, you know, it was a space that wasn't going to be utilized very well anyway, and so we might as well make it something that's really great for some habitat for wildlife. We did elderberries, false indigo, American plum. We planted them the way we did just so that, you know, the cattle weren't in them. It was already somewhere we were fencing off. You know, and it was in places where maybe the ditch was curved and we just went straight across and then planted shrubs in there. We really enjoy wildlife, obviously, and so for us it was being able to provide a habitat for quail especially. We also did some edge feathering where we had some down tree structures and that type of thing too. You've got the wildlife that likes the more prairie type, and then you've got the wildlife that likes those shrubs. One of the things that, with the quail and different populations, some of the cool season grass gets way too thick for them to be able to navigate. And so by having those bunch grasses, that gives them habitat also. And like I said, for us, it fills a hole in our grazing when we don't have as good a grass in the summertime. So for us, it was a combination. Just seeing the number of bugs and just the number of birds and just everything wildlife-wise really shows that things are happening in the soil and in the grasses, which has been fun to watch.